Well, welcome to Hull. This is the Humber Bridge behind me, but tonight all roads lead to the MKM Stadium as Hull FC take on Hull KR. This is Betfred Super League Noisy Neighbours Hull Derby edition.
It is pure hatred.
There's nothing I've come across quite like Hull v Rovers.
Even if you're at part of the rugby family of this city, which would be shock if you want, but even if you want, you'd have extended family or friends who are, and you see how much it means, so much they live and breathe it, and it means so much to them rugby in this city, and also over so many years how getting one over on each other means to them, and how it affects their life and their mood when they wake up, and the mood after a game, and how upset they get, and going to work and having to deal, because normally wherever you work in this city, there's normally always one KR fan at least and one Hull FC fan.
Yeah, one or the other. Everyone's a black and white or a red and white. Even if you don't follow the scores every week, you've got an affiliation, one sense or the other. There's families divided by it. As much as it's one side of the river or the other, there are still families because of generations and marriages back in the day. There's nothing I've come across, like travelling around the world and living in different cities, that is quite like Hull v Rovers.
Big Hull FC fan growing up, season pass holder, started at the Boulevard, and then when we came to KC I was in that south stand there, behind the sticks watching. It was definitely weird because obviously my dream growing up all my life was to wear the black and white shirt and walk out with the UFC badge on, and obviously you're the other side of the city playing for the biggest rivals.
I remember one time being in London and got chatting with a police officer, and she kind of sensed that I had a Hull accent, and we got chatting, and the first thing that we said to each other, I think it was me to her, I said black and white or red and white, and she was a black and white, and that's typical of any conversation with anyone that sounds like they're even closer from Hull.
It's a working class city, Yorkshire city. Yorkshire is rugby league with a lot of people grafting, hard jobs 9 till 5, and rugby league's their escape on a night or a weekend, and they live and breathe it.
It's a very working class city. It's a hard city. You know, there's not a lot of prosper going on here. So people look to the rugby league team, they look to sport to be the catalyst to happiness, really.
It is that thing of working in a factory or in a shop, or the working class, just go out and earn your living because on a Sunday you want to go and watch your team, or on a Friday night as it is these days, you want to go and watch your team. You want to turn up on the Monday morning with the bragging rights. You want to stick it to the other lot for 5 days straight before the next round of games. It's not a rich city, but there are people who don't have a lot of money, but what they do have that's spare goes on a season ticket, goes on away trips.
When you're in a city that's been deprived, that's been downtrodden, your sporting team that can deliver success, that is what makes you happy. And this derby is more than just the points on offer. It's the bragging rights, it's what's important to the people.
If you talk about the big derby, as soon as it comes to a week where it's Hull and Rovers, or it's St Helens and Wigan, and it's called the big derby, there's arguments from the fans of the other derby clubs about which is the biggest. The one thing that Wigan and Saints has had for the past 30 years that the Hull derby hasn't had is two successful teams.
Regarding how much it means to people in the city and how much they really, really care about it, I think there's no question the Hull's definitely the biggest in that aspect. I can confidently say that. I've said it many times before. Well, what I'd found with the Wigan Saints derby is that them two have always been top tier teams. And when I was at Wigan against Saints on them derby days, whether it be at the DW or Totally Wicked, it was it was some of the toughest games I've been involved in, because it's always two top teams in Wigan Saints going at it, and the intensity, the speed of the games, it was really draining. For what it means to the city and the clubs and the fans, the Hull one's bigger, obviously same city, and it's just, you can just see how much it hurts more than the other one.
I'd love to see Hull KR, Hull FC at the top table again, actually playing to win trophies, playing in playoff games that are meaningful, and you're playing for more than just the 2 points and bragging rights. And you know, it is topsy-turvy. Hull Kingston Rovers at the moment, you'd probably say they're the top team in the city. It can quickly change, and you know, you're right. I'd love to be playing in a grand final against that lot. It'd be brilliant in a Challenge Cup final, like back in 1980 when we managed to beat them 10-5. That is what we strive for, and yeah, you're right. We'd love to be back there.
It is the case of the second either side gets a sniff of silverware, I think the rest of the country really starts to pay attention to the derby. What I would say is, anyone who has an interest in rugby league, if they see Hull derbies on, they know that they're going to get a game out of it. So I think, in that sense, it's one that the neutral will always want to watch.
Do you enjoy these games, or are they more of an ordeal than an enjoyment?
Do you know what? It's a great question, because you enjoy them. You don't enjoy them necessarily. You enjoy them at the end of 80 minutes when you've got the win, and as the game goes on, you're starting to think about, God, if we lose this, so when I go back to work tomorrow, when I go see my family, you know, if they're supporting the other side, it is nerve-wracking. So it's not necessarily a game that you enjoy until the end of 80 minutes and you've got the W and you've got the win.
I've gone full circle, because at the minute I'm obviously not involved with the club really, other than the odd bit. So I've been that season pass holder fan. I've then been on the pitch and helped affect the games on the field and feel more in control. I feel like I've probably arguably got more nerves, because I can't do anything now to affect the result. I'm just going to have to sit, watch like everybody other, and back being that Hull FC fan, cheering on the lads to get that win.
If we're honest, it is pure hatred. It is hatred, it's divisive. They don't like us, we don't like them. And yeah, there's 34 players out on the pitch who've got something to say about that and can do something about it, but it's not just played out on the pitch, it's played out in the stands, it's played out every single day, even when games aren't being played. It is, it's almost in your soul.
I've had a lot of chats with a lot of teammates over the years all about how much it means to us, and making sure they know and they buy into the game and know that it's all right for you, but if we don't win this derby, it's going to affect my life massively until the next derby comes around, and it's a tough pill to swallow. So, yeah, it's just bred into you straight away from the day you understand rugby league and what a derby is.
Well, the result obviously means everything. The game I don't like as a rule. I like the build-up, but come that 80 minutes, it's a bit nerve-wracking, and what's the outcome? If it's all winning, I'm happy. If they're winning, no.
I think it's one of the only sporting occasions where the full city, in some ways, kind of comes together, whether you be red and white, black and white, whatever colours you are, East Hull, West Hull. It's the bragging rights. It's everything, to be fair.
Yeah, it means everything. I've been a Rovers supporter for over 50 years now, and my dad got me into it, and it's a family thing. You know, you're either red and white or you're black and white. It means everything. Yeah. Love the derby.
Even though we have Hull City, like, what are doing well, and they're a big team and stuff like that, you know, credit to them, but for me, I think Hull's a rugby town.
Yeah, definitely a rugby town. You just go through the amateurs, you go through West Hull, Scaler. You've got a lot of players what have come from them teams, what have represented Hull and Rovers. So it's passionate. It's a big passionate city.
Yeah. But it is the only true derby in rugby league, because there's no other, in Super League especially, there's two clubs from the same city. There ain't none of that, I don't think. Leeds, Bradford, St Helens, Wigan, they're all separate places. Hull and Rovers is the main proper derby.
From about seven days ago, everybody's starting to talk about it. You're hearing it on the radio.
on the television, and then, you know, you wake up this morning, you think this is it, this is Derby Day, let's go. They won't be singing like this later.
So surreal, and probably I think one of the reasons why we won today is because we only got allocated 4,000, and we said that we could have filled it maybe 2.5 times that, you know, and I really felt that was a driving force this week, is that why they're not allocated as even more is because obviously they fear our fans and the loud noise that they make and stuff like that, and it doesn't matter if there's 1 or 8,000, they make that much noise. It's absolutely fantastic for us players. I know a lot of people say because it's round 1, but I'm actually going to enjoy these next couple of days because the effort that we've all put in pre-season, you know, I'm going to sit back and enjoy these couple of days. You know, a lot of people talk about, you know, maybe moving on and thinking about round 2, but no, I'm going to have a couple of days now where I switch off from rugby and enjoy this moment, and then obviously then start really focusing.
Make sure you do enjoy it, mate.
I will do, mate. Cheers, thank you.